Hey guys, and welcome back to WebMD&DM, where I diagnose the discussions that take place around my table while playing both games, the Dungeons and the Dragons. Once again, you can see that I am not sitting here alone, I am sitting here with a guest. Say hi.
Hi.
Alright, now say your name.
Your name.
Okay, now introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Noah. I take part in Michael's Friday D&D game. I play Lysander. Probably heard him mention him before.
Yeah, he is the one who ate shit in front of the guards during market day and almost got arrested.
Oh, you guys are there. Oh, okay. You got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I'm working on that, and I'm trying. There's just a lot of campaigns to do.
Understandably.
So, as you can tell from our setup and the fact that I have a guest, it is time to do an unboxing. Now, for those of you who were paying attention to the stream of Annihilation that happened, I think it was a few months ago at this point, the Wizards of the Coast folks are introducing a new line of miniatures, and along with those miniatures comes the case incentive. Now, for this one, the Tomb of Annihilation's case incentive, they are introducing the Tomb and Traps set. So you can expect lots of traps stuff, some treasure stuff, and also a bit of a pretty cool piece of D&D history that I think I've mentioned in a video before and probably going to be mentioning very soon. So let's go ahead and crack into this box and let's see what we get.
I do think that there's one thing that's featured pretty prominently on the box that that's going to be fun.
I think we should go ahead and just start with that little piece, shall we?
Piece the resistance. I don't know French.
Tu n'es pas français?
No.
Oh.
I don't. None.
So, this is one of the big features of this box set. It is the Great Green Devil as featured in the Tomb of Horrors. Now, I hope this doesn't trigger any PTSD flashbacks for for your characters. For those of you who don't know, spoiler alert, if you're planning on running the Tomb of Horrors, the Great Green Devil is featured in one of the 3 entrances to the Tomb of Horrors. If you find it, it appears to be like possibly maybe a way in. It's a mouth opening that you could crawl into if you wanted to. However, if you do so, you will be immediately destroyed and cast to the oblivions, as it is a sphere of annihilation inside the mouth, not a magical portal to a mystical realm.
In other words, put the halfling in there.
Yeah. Go right ahead. Next up, one of the other big things we have is actually also in playing with the Tomb of Horrors. It is a mystical archway. It's filled with clear vapors. I always love the clear effect that these guys can do. I wish I could do that same thing. It's also in tuning with the Tomb of Horrors, but I can only assume, as this is the Tomb of Annihilation, that they will be introducing a Tomb of Horrors-esque dungeon in the Tomb of Annihilation, which I'm really looking forward to because I'm planning on putting my players to that traumatic experience next.
I can only guess that they've downgraded the Sphere of Annihilation in the Horned Demon's Mouth. I can imagine that they've kept it the same, but I'm not sure if many people who play D&D now would be so happy with the results.
Well, if you're playing Tomb of Horrors, you should really be aware of what you're getting into to begin with.
I mean, calling it the Tomb of Annihilation is kind of a hint.
Yes, indeed it is.
One's just horrible, the other one kills you. Wait.
I am, just as an aside, I am really looking forward to the Tomb of Annihilation coming out because it's introducing this continent that I don't have a lot of experience with, but sounds very interesting, called Chult.
Okay.
It has little frog people who are kind of savages. They were featured actually in Volo's Guide to Monsters called the Grung.
Wasn't there a race similar to that in 3.5? I don't think they were called the Grung, but they're little frog guys.
Well, that was basically the Grung. They're little frog barbarians living in the woods. Cool. They're very adorable looking. I'll throw up a picture here for those of you at home. If you've seen in the Tomb of Horrors, they are quite adorable looking, but they're also lawful evil. They seem very interesting, but there's the Grung, there's dinosaurs, there's Acererak's resurgence, which I'm interested to see how that works and what that means.
Calling it now. T-Rex Lich.
Yes. I believe it's right there on the front of the box.
Oh, there's actually a... Oh my god, no.
Well, if you have liches and dinosaurs, you can't not have a T-Rex lich. I mean, even the Dresden Files knew that.
Oh man, that's a flashback.
Anyways,
in ages.
they're a good series. I highly recommend Dresden Files if you're looking for any of the stuff that I steal from. That's what I steal from.
Not the TV show.
No,
skip it.
Not the TV show.
Skip it.
That one's a little rough.
No.
Next up, the third of the larger pieces. For those of you who watched the previous stream, you'll know that usually the way this box breaks down is there's one or two really big things. There's a couple of smaller things, and then there's a little baggie full of tiny things. The previous case that had backpacks, bedrolls, and little books, whereas this one has the Tomb of Horrors features, including this, which is the Acererak's sarcophagus. Now, this one's not broken like it is in the Tomb of Horrors, so I can only assume that Acererak's going to have a sarcophagus in the Tomb of Annihilations that will go along with this.
Talk about flashbacks to the Dresden Files. Now I'm thinking about Stargate.
Yeah, it is very similar to the sarcophagus from Stargate as well. I've noticed with a lot of this stuff that it seems to have a very sort of Egyptian sort of pyramid kind of theme. If you'll notice, there's lots of glyphs on everything. That's very they're not translated or anything. They look kind of like hieroglyphs. They're supposed to be magical, but there's a lot of tans and browns.
Reminds me a little bit of Viking runes mixed with Mesopotamian architecture.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see. I understand that Chult is a continent that I don't have a lot of experience with, but I'm interested to see what's the sort of civilization there. I've actually included a spot right here in my continent where these guys are running around, a giant island that I'm planning to basically make into a Chult light version, so that way I can just steal all the stuff from the book and just put it right there.
So you've created Jurassic Park.
Yes. Good luck finding it, though.
You've already told me it's there, now I need to go there.
Yeah, but how does Lysander know about it?
He'll figure it out.
Maybe.
Give him time. He's gotten himself in enough trouble so far.
Ain't that the truth? Spoilers.
I don't think that's a spoiler either. He's gotten himself into trouble already by the point you've told.
Yeah. More interesting things are going to be happening with Lysander very shortly that I'm looking forward to. Next up, we start getting into some of the traps of the Tomb and Traps set. Right here we have two of them. There's a fire jet trap. Now, this is not featured in Tomb of Horrors, so it's definitely got to be a thing in Tomb of Annihilation then. That looks really, really cool. Here, you want to take a look at that?
Neat.
Probably does a lot of fire damage.
Or a little bit if they've downgraded it. I'm expecting it to insta-kill.
I don't think it'll insta-kill. That's a little too harsh for this edition.
Can we just get save or die rolls back, please?
No.
I mean, we basically had that when we ran Tomb of Horrors, so...
Yeah. There, spoilers for those of you who want to be surprised for my upcoming Tomb of Horrors, basically streams because of how long they are. Midway through the dungeon, they are taking a short rest in a hallway, and a giant stone cylinder comes rolling out of the hall in front of them. Oh my God. And that cylinder damn near crushed everybody because it rolled max distance on how far it would cover, so it got really, really close to killing everybody. So that was a fun little moment. I loved it because it was very suspenseful for them. They were terrified, and then somebody died, so that was sad.
What was great was that we had the chance to just avoid that altogether, and yet we picked the exact wrong option.
Yes, you did. You could have moved. You didn't even have to go down that hallway. You missed the secret door that you needed to find.
Nope. In fact, I'm pretty sure we would have doubled back had we not taken the nap.
Yeah. And they only took the nap because of the poison gas that was in the corridor and knocked them out. Knocked half of them out, and the other half was like, all right, we'll wait here until they wake up. Mm-hmm. And then a cylinder came and almost crushed everybody. The cylinder was one of my favorite moments, as was the very, very end when you were all high-fiving each other.
The end was pretty great.
Those were my two favorite moments in my D&D Tomb of Horrors experience, and the ending was one of my greatest experience as a DM, period. So that was pretty great to have. That's why I recommend running Tomb of Horrors, because if you get through it, it's amazing.
You get to have that victory lap, and not everybody is dead.
Yes, that's exactly right.
No spoilers there.
Next up, we have what appears to be a blade trap. Now, this looks really interesting. I'm assuming it does a lot of piercing damage. There you go.
Yep.
It almost looks like crystals, so I might use it as like a crystal formation to kind of pretty up the map.
Or someone decided to put a bunch of swords through some clay and then stuck it on the map.
Yes, that too. So that's interesting. I definitely like the thematic look of it. Like I said, I could use it as rocky outcroppings in a cave, or I could use it as the after effects of a blade trap when you guys get hit by it.
Or stick it on the ceiling.
Or stick it on the ceiling.
Falling ceiling traps. They're amazing.
So that is 8 of the traps so far. Each of the traps that we've shown so far comes 4 each. And we're gonna go ahead and crack into the little baggie full of goodies. This is where stuff starts getting small and tiny and easy to lose.
Yeah, careful with those.
Yeah. Alright, now first off, he was stuck to the tape, so he was very easy to see. I think he just wants to showcase himself even more in this conversation. The little tiny demi-lich skull, which is supposed to be, I believe he's actually mentioned specifically as Acererak. Yep, he is Acererak parenthesis demi-lich skull.
I already want to crush it.
You already did that though.
I want to do it again.
So that's pretty cool to get a little tiny Acererak like this. Here you go, and you take a look.
I'll try not to drop him. Oh, that is very tiny.
Yeah.
How did this get modeled? Oh, geez.
If you look very closely, you can see that they actually did a pretty good job with the painting. Yeah. But the Acererak skull is interesting. It also will be difficult. Like, I don't think I would use him as a combat model.
Probably not.
I would probably use him as sort of like a placement in like a treasure pile when he ambushes you. Spoiler alert for Tomb of Horrors, Acererak the Demi-Lich is a skull, and he is hiding amongst the treasure waiting for somebody to touch him when they finally get into the tomb. So that's a heads up. So the Demi-Lich, I would probably not use him as a combat model. I'd use him as just a little piece of artwork or maybe just a general skull. But he's cool to have. Next up, in playing with Acererak hiding amongst his treasure, we have piles of gold coins right here. So that would be really neat, especially if you're fighting like a dragon who are supposed to have lots and lots and lots of treasure. Those comes with about 4 piles of the treasure as well. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's a nice little hoard we got going on here.
And what are these tiles?
We have lots of tiles. There are, on top of the 2 traps that we've already shown you, which were very sort of up, very vertical, showcasing. The next traps are more subdued, they are more flat. There's 3 of them. One of them is, I'm pretty sure, yep. One of them is Pit Trap, which gets used a lot in Tomb of Horrors, and you can see at the very bottom, there's lots of spikes. It's a little hard to make out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see. It's supposed to be kind of a perspective shift
yes,
sort of thing.
Exactly. It has the perspective shift going on there. That's pretty neat. Lots of people use pit traps, not just Acererak, so kobolds and goblins, clever barbarians, they would all need pit trap markers. They wouldn't be made into the stone, but it would still be a neat thing to put on the map and kind of show the players. Next up, we have a magical glyph trap. So basically, you step on the glyph and it blows up in your face, a la Glyph of Warding.
Oh, exploding runes. Oh, yeah. so many bad times.
Well, Noah is not a big fan of exploding runes.
Oh, no. I'm a huge fan of it. I'm not a fan when I'm hit by it.
Oh, right.
Just, I'm trying to read a letter, and oh, by the way, the next words are exploding runes. Boom. That has happened to me so many times, and it's all because of one DM who I will not name on this video, but... Okay. Damn it, Everett!
Noah's paranoia was so bad that he refused to open 2 letters that I gave him, one of which he was not supposed to open, but one of which he was in fact supposed to open.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing, you kept saying, hey, by the way, you still have that letter, you should open it. Hey Noah, you should open it. Yeah. Hey Noah, Lysander, you should open it.
I didn't say
Lysander. Hey, Lysander. Hey.
I didn't say you should open it. I said, are you going to open it?
No. The thing is that implies can and should, when in terms of D&D, are very well conflated.
Yeah. But as a DM, I didn't say you should open it, because that's railroading. I said, will you? And you didn't. Oh, I would. Which was good. Yeah. You shouldn't have. Yeah. It was, in fact, a Glyph of Warding. It just wasn't going to blow up in your face. So I
was correct for once.
He was correct. He did not fall into the DM trap, which I am guilty of using a lot. Then
again, I did fall into one other thing, but let's not actually spoil that.
Okay. Anyways, getting back on track, that's a pretty cool, basically like a glyph of warding or just a magical glyph if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to use them as like in the Magician's Workshop, you could have one of those on the map, and it could be like a summoning circle, or it could be an area where he gets like a magical imbuement or like a magic circle, something like that. So that's pretty cool. I'm always looking at these things as how they are presented and also ways that I could use them in other ways, because that way I get more usability out of everything. That's why a lot of the times you fight undead, they are skeletons. Next up, we have, I believe it is a Rocks Fall.
Everybody dies.
Thank you. Rocks Fall trap. Let me just get the official name. Yes, a collapsing roof trap. So basically, once the roof collapses and the rocks fall and everybody dies.
Inevitably, yes.
I'd like to think that won't happen in my game, but I'm also a somewhat vindictive individual.
You say that, but then again, it's built into Tomb of Horrors.
Yes.
Oh, if you're talking about the main campaign, okay, please don't do that.
I don't intend to, but I mean...
We've gone into one cave. One.
Yeah, and almost... and how did that go for everybody?
You'll find out next time. Wait, no, actually, it's in like several episodes. You've got time.
Yeah. I am way behind on the campaign. I started the campaign diaries in October, and I can't really seem to get the videos out much quicker than 1 or 2 a week.
Which then means you're keeping pace with the campaign about 6 months ago.
Yes.
Hey, leave some suspense for people.
Yeah. Next up, we have some more tiny treasure. This is one of 4 small potions that the set comes with. They're very tiny.
This is incredibly tiny.
Yes.
I feel like I'm gonna drop it and it's gonna disappear into the carpet.
We also have some partially opened scrolls, which I think will go along well with the couple of scrolls I got in the Monster Menagerie set.
No! No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Just take it. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool though. I like the detail on these.
They have very, very good detail, and they definitely add a lot of flavor to the pile of gold coins. So you put the pile of gold coins out, and then you put in the potions. You can be like, oh, there's 3 potions, and one of them's red, and some scrolls for the wizard and stuff like that. So it's very nice looking. You just have to have the prescience to have it ready and to put it out. Like, it's great window dressing for the boss fight if he has his treasure out in the open like a dragon would, or if you wanted to showcase when they open up like a treasure chest or something like that. That sort of stuff. It's interesting. It's a little difficult to use because of how small it is and how easy it is to lose, but it's also very, very well made. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, set dressing is always fun.
Yeah, exactly. I'm of the DM mindset that I like having a little bit of setting, window dressing to make it look pretty, but not so much that I overwhelm the map. Like Dwarven Forge, I would love to have some Dwarven Forge, don't get me wrong, but if I had a map that looked like Matthew Mercer's Kevdak fight, I don't know if you watch Critical Role.
I believe I've heard of the Kevdak fight.
Okay. The Kevdak fight was one of the first times that Mercer really busted out his Dwarven Forge, and he made a town square for the Critical Role to go through. Vox Machina, I should say. Critical Role is the name of the show. It's like saying Doctor Who to go through. But I would just feel I don't have the money to pull that off, and I, as a player, would have a little bit of a hard time distinguishing everything because so much detail would be thrown at me. It might help with the immersion, but like everything, it would just be colors on colors.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of stuff. Whereas with the way that I do is like the things that are really important will have minis, will have things to work off of to sort of enhance that this is what you need to be focusing on. But
so kind of the Indiana Jones having the idol on the pedestal kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Exclamation mark above the character who needs to speak to you.
I don't go that far, but yeah, essentially. Final 2 pieces of the Tomb of Horrors after the potions and scrolls is a sword of, I believe it's a sword of sharpness or a sword of vengeance. It is a sword of sharpness, which I believe actually has the ability to cut limbs off of people. So that's pretty cool.
So I get to have my Kill Bill and my D&D
yes,
on one.
Exactly.
Get some Yakuza in there and we got a party.
And also a shield of missile attraction. which basically gives you a rather substantial bonus to your armor class, but also makes you the target of all ranged attacks.
Can I just put it on my back?
I mean, if you want to, you won't get the armor benefits.
What if I'm the tank?
Then you should have the shield in front of you.
What if I need both hands?
Well, then you're gonna get shot.
Great, I'm the tank.
The idea of the shield of missile attraction is that the curse will affect whoever's using the shield. And basically, everyone's going to target the tank with the ranged attacks, which is great when you're fighting, say, a group of cowardly goblins. It's not so great if, say, your party has a couple of rangers and a spellcaster. We're staying at the back lines.
Yeah, magic missile hits automatically.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't sound very fun. Never mind.
It is a cursed magic item. It's not supposed to be good for you.
Yeah, you can make curses work.
You can, and I encourage players who do. But the shield of missile attraction isn't one of them.
Okay.
Not unless you are a group of all fighters who all want to be in the front lines. Then you just give the shield to the barbarian and be like, all right, you got the most hit points. Go on, get in there.
I'd make a Game of Thrones joke, but I don't watch enough of it to know if that would be accurate. Close enough?
Close enough.
Okay.
So that was the broad strokes of the Tombs and Traps premium case incentive set for the recently, is it really? Yeah, the recently released Tomb of Annihilation's miniature line. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our little discussions about this. I'm contemplating, I haven't 100% settled on the idea of buying some of the Tomb of Annihilation minis, and so we might do an unboxing of those because I'm interested to see what they'll be showcasing. Probably some dinosaurs and undead, and maybe even some grung, because those would be fun. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, comment any questions you have down in the blah blah down below. I'm happy to answer any questions. If you have any questions for Noah, who has played Lysander in the Friday game, he has played Snively Infamous in the Tomb of Horrors upcoming one-shot that I'll be showcasing. And yeah, he's also just a pretty cool guy, so you should ask him some questions and I'll ask him and get back to you.
I'm helping him edit this.
He is also my friend who is helping me edit. He's not officially my editor until I actually start making money.
Pay me?
Yes, exactly.
No,
when I start
I've got a
making
day job, I'm fine.
When I start making money on these videos, then I'll hire you as an editor. But that'll be a long time coming.
I'll just take some of those coins. Alright.
As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave question, comments, blah, blah. Don't forget to roll your charisma saving throw against that subscription button. I hope you all have a lovely day, and until I see you next time, take care.
Laters.